Life is continuously teaching those who are willing to take the time to learn from it, regardless of whether or not you are aware of this fact. The terrible aspect is that the majority of people are blind to the lessons that are right in front of their eyes. But in this video, I will reveal 5 money lessons that will alter your life. Therefore, you need to ensure that you are paying attention. Welcome to the Financial Flow. Please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up on our latest videos. Lesson number 1. Understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Although assets and liabilities are the foundations of any company's and individual's balance sheet, even though they serve distinct purposes, the end goal of both should be to boost one's financial well-being in the years to come. If you are not familiar with the concepts of assets and liabilities, allow me to provide a concise explanation of both of them. Assets, according to the criteria established by accounting standards, are those things that have the potential to provide economic benefit either now or in the future. On the other hand, liabilities are financial responsibilities that you are obligated to fulfill in the not too distant future. To put it another way, assets bring money into your pockets, while liabilities take money out of them. To begin, let's clear up some common misunderstandings about assets and liabilities. Most people believe that their primary residence has more characteristics that are more closely associated with liabilities than with assets. I'll explain later. Because liabilities are things that drain money from your wallet. Think renovations, repairs, taxes, etc. Owning a property is a great example of a liability. There are many examples of personal property such as vehicles and boats that appear on your balance sheet but have a negative impact on your financial well-being. Liabilities, on the other hand, are what we owe to others, and unfortunately, the majority of people have come to despise these potentially useful financial instruments. Using credit cards and vehicle loans, for example, might have a negative impact on your credit score, but if you manage your debt wisely, you can really benefit from them. It is possible to use the money you borrow from a low-interest mortgage to buy rental property that will not appreciate over time but will also pay you every month for your efforts. Using your own money to buy these assets may seem like the obvious solution, but there are 2 drawbacks to this strategy. First, ink and producing assets like real estate firms or dividend stocks are out of the reach for most people. Second, for example, if cash is used to buy a stock, it can't be used to buy a property. Thus, taking on low-cost debt can allow you to acquire additional assets and therefore improve your financial situation over the long term. Lesson number 2. To understand the price of appearing wealthy. Keeping up with the Joneses has always been a feature of many people's lives, even before the internet. People have a tendency to strive to emulate someone or own something that is both useless and financially burdensome, squandering all the money you've earned for simply to try to keep up as an obsession that many people battle with. The internet has only exacerbated the keeping up with the Joneses problem. It must be said. You may be tempted to buy an expensive phone, new clothes, or a pricey handbag if you are continually exposed to images of opulent residences and flashy automobiles. At first glance, these purchases may appear needless, but common sense is essential at this time to avoid overspending. It's time to assess how much you desire to appear wealthy has actually cost you financially. If you're spending more than 28% of your income on housing, you're just living over your means, according to personal financial experts. Many people have a habit of spending a lot of money on themselves and their friends on the weekends, which is both financially and emotionally healthy, but it can lead to a lack of money for household needs. As a starting point, think about how much money you've spent in the past month, especially on eating out, going out with friends, and shopping, and see if it's possible that this is the case. Look at the rest of your life after that, and make changes to your spending patterns to better manage your money. If you're having difficulties paying your utilities or other home expenditures because of them, it is possible to labor for a month and still have nothing to show for it. And this is usually due to a lack of control over one's spending habits, as you know. Fortunately, there is a solution in the form of a higher level budget. After taxes, figure out how much money you have left over. Then list all of your expenses. As soon as you have that figure in mind, it becomes easier to recognize how awful or good your spending habits are, and how much money you need to save. Returning to the desire to appear wealthy, whether your coworker or acquaintance purchased an expensive vehicle or a larger and more spacious home, it doesn't matter. There is no better feeling than having enough money to pay your expenses at the end of the month, and not having to stay up late worrying about them than purchasing something you know that you don't need. In other words, don't worry about what other people have because your financial journey is yours alone. Lesson number 3. Ways to use good debt to your advantage. Although many people believe that everything is terrible and should be avoided, they realize that paying off your debt rather than accumulating more debt once you're debt-free is a good idea. However, there is a good debt and bad debt, and it is better to pay off bad debt to avoid it altogether. The difference between good and bad debt is that bad debt takes money from your wallet, while good debt gives your money back. There are two main reasons why credit card debt is a bad debt. First, it is used mostly to purchase goods and services that depreciate in value, such as vehicles, big trees, and televisions. Using credit cards, auto loans, and other high-interest loans to purchase cash-generating assets is why the rich use debt to their advantage. With low-interest loans, on the other hand, these loans are used to purchase assets that generate income, and this is why the rich use debt to their advantage in particular. They rely on OPM, or other people's money, provided by banks and individual investors. It is possible to dramatically boost your return on investment by using good debt to purchase assets that will generate cash flow or appreciate over time, and this is an indication of a strong financial acumen. It's important to remember that when it comes to making a good investment, you have two options: either invest your own cash or find a way to get other people to invest theirs. Some assume it's a fantasy world where people will just hand you money to invest, but that couldn't be further from the truth. It's a fact that most individuals don't have the time or inclination to actively seek out bargains. Instead, they rely on those who do. Lesson number 4. Developing a strong sense of patience is an important life skill. In many cases, ambitious entrepreneurs are eager to get started on a new company venture and want to see immediate results, which can involve both growth and profit. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to achieving success in the corporate world, despite what some people believe. Whatever stage of business development you're in, patience is a virtue that can help your chances of success soar no matter what. Impatient people, on the other hand, can reduce your chances of success. For patience, you need to make realistic expectations. If your company plan is reasonable, you may enhance your budget and prepare spending habits that meet your goals. Now, if you're like most people, you'll want to make money as fast as possible, but patience can help you avoid avoidable setbacks and better manage your money. The level of your personal motivation is also an important consideration when setting realistic expectations. If you expect rapid results and rapid growth, you may be discouraged when only slow or no growth is observed. On the other hand, if you expect gradual growth and small adjustments, you may be more motivated to see steady growth. Remember that defining a specialty before you expand and become the greatest in that area is a vital factor for success. Your patience might affect your motivation and general view of your business operations. You may not be able to develop a stable basis for the business when you focus so much on rapid expansion, which encompasses everything from process to staff and consumers. Customer retention is generally less expensive than acquiring new ones. Lesson number 5. Taking risks. When a newborn is confident enough to move from crawling to walking around the house, that first step is a tremendous risk for them. We learn to take chances even before we learn to walk. When the child's initial attempt at risk fails, he or she must decide, am I striving too hard? Knowing full well the danger I'm putting myself in. Risk is a part of life. No matter how you feel about it, and it's not something you can avoid. This skill is used by everyone to make the best possible decision for themselves. And the most essential thing to bear in mind when looking at this issue is that when done appropriately, you obtain a significantly more favorable result than acting carelessly. How could you accomplish this? Throughout our lives, we make decisions that reshape our viewpoints and change the course of our experiences. Self-reflection is an excellent approach to enhance your risk management skills, and if you take the time to go inside and ask yourself why you're making certain decisions, you'll automatically begin the review process that will lead you down the risk management route. When used effectively, this has the potential to enhance our overall well-being. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Have a good one.